Hello and welcome to the Beard, the Brain, and the Brawn. I am one of your hosts, Stuart Purcell, lifter of weights, defier of gravity, and destroyer of protein. With me are my co-hosts, Andy Bauman, future mayor of Indianapolis, Beard of the Northside, keeper of the door,
Woo!
and as always, Zach Mayer, master of the IT, speaker for the machines, and bow hunter extraordinaire.
All right, let's do this.
So today we have multiple things to talk about. Zach, why don't you go ahead and guide us through it?
All right, first up is Destiny Week. Yeah, man, Destiny came out this week for Xbox 360, Xbox One, PS3, and PS4.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts?
I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's pretty legit. I got about an hour and a half in last night before I had to stop because of those storms and whatnot. Pretty rad. You can definitely tell it was made by the original Halo folks.
Thank God.
Yeah, high quality, great mythology or lore. Pretty cool gameplay. I'll be curious to see how it keeps going.
Now, I'm playing on the Xbox One. What about you guys?
I am a caveman on the 360 still.
I also have the one. I've moved on from the Dark Ages, and proud to be there.
Yeah, we use whale fat for lanterns in our house for lights.
That really doesn't actually surprise me at all.
Sets up a nice ambiance though.
It's about the atmosphere.
It's all about the ladies.
Post-apocalypse.
Have a nice little burning flesh smell.
So what characters are you guys?
I'm the sniper. I think that's the hunter. Yeah, hunter. Just give me a sniper rifle. I'll reach out and touch you.
I think it's kind of bad that someone who is really enthused about the game doesn't really know what the three main categories are and just says, "Oh, I'm the sniper."
I got about 3 hours of sleep and I like to snipe people in video games.
Understandable.
I'm the warlock who pretty much shotguns people in the face with his awesome powers.
Woo!
I'm a Titan. I hit things. Because,
Of course.
I hit things. I don't know.
Now, if you ever see Stu running around on Destiny, he's the one with the sparrow or rhino helmet. Kind of looks like a giant sparrow or maybe even a rhino.
I was going to say like a unicorn.
Oh, well, okay.
But you were more positive.
I mean, I'll punch you or I'll gore you in the face.
All right, guys.
Don't headbutt me.
We'll be curious to see how the expansions go and kind of what the Traveler's all about and what's going on.
They said they're going to delve into... I mean, from what I gathered, this one was just kind of laying the basic groundwork, and then they're going to go into more of the lore, I guess, later on.
And Stu brought up a great point, and I don't know if this is spoiler territory, about your turtles.
Oh, the Cabal theory.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, do we want to get into that, or do we wait for later on?
I think we should give people maybe a week or two, a few weeks, so that they can beat the game and kind of see the story mode and kind of figure out their own things before we just go ahead and do a spoiler. So maybe we come back next week or maybe even the week after and we kind of go through that theory. So make sure you definitely keep note of that.
Okay, but I'll call it now. I think Stu called it.
I think my biggest beef is the fact that we go out, we buy a game, we spend $60 on it, and then at the register, day one, they're like, "Do you want to spend $40 for 2 more expansions?"
Dude, weren't they hustling you for like $140 worth of expenses?
Yeah, I mean, first they asked me for about a million things. They asked for, I think, $35. They said right now it's $5 off for both the expansions. Mm-hmm. One expansion comes out in December, and the other one comes out early 2015. They wanted us to pre-order Call of Duty Advanced Warfare just so that we can get some Vanguard armor for Destiny, which I understand that it also has the creators of Call of Duty, I think, are also in the mix
Activision.
with Activision.
They own Bungie now.
So since Activision owns Bungie, that's how they kind of got that DLC. So
They should just rename it. It's like Call of Duty. You've played this before.
Yeah, just on principle.
Is this a hype for Activision to get more people to play Destiny, or is it more hype to get people to play Call of Duty?
From what I read, Destiny was the most pre-ordered game of the year. So if anything, this is more of them. I mean, if you're Activision, you have Call of Duty, which, as much as I may not necessarily approve, is like one of the highest, well, I think the highest grossing game franchise of all time.
Yep.
And if you compare that with Destiny, which, I mean, very well may be
great pedigree
in the top 5, I mean, why not have them play off of each other?
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, it just makes sense.
That's business right there.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of it works for both of them and helps out both. Either way, Activision's making money off of it, so what do they care?
I'll just say, wish it was Battlefield.
It's true.
If you're on the 360, the Space Batman. Battlefield 4.
All right. So one of my last points about Destiny, unless you guys have something else, did you guys see who did the Destiny theme song?
There was a theme song.
It was Paul McCartney, wasn't it?
It was
Oh God.
Sir Paul.
Sir Paul.
McCartney.
Apologies.
Yeah, I thought that was very interesting. That it was written and recorded by him. So.
Like 3 years ago. I mean, it was a while back. Or maybe it was like 2012. I think I saw it on Kotaku. Shout out to Kotaku. Pretty cool website. But yeah, and IGN covered it too, actually. Also a great website. And they were, and I want to say it was like 2012. He was tweeting about it, and like no one really had quite knew what was going on yet. Thought that was pretty funny.
Once again, poor Ringo.
All he got was that Thomas the Train show.
Hey, he was a conductor, and he was awesome.
All right. So unless you guys have anything else about Destiny, I think it's awesome. I haven't got to play the multiplayer yet since it's been on sale now. I played it back in the beta. I think it's awesome. I can't wait to dive into it. Maybe we'll do a recap next week. We probably should all have beaten the campaign, hopefully by then. I think it's about... Rumors are about 18 hours to beat the game.
I don't know if I'm going to have that yet.
All right, well, Stu might not, but hopefully he'll at least also have some time to play the multiplayer mode and get feedback off
all
that.
Weight takes time, I'm sorry.
Next big news of the week was the Apple press conference. Apple held their annual conference. Always happens around this time. And they announced 3 new devices. First is the iPhone, and the iPhone 6 and the iPhone 6 Plus. The iPhone 6 has a 4.4-inch display, while the iPhone 6 Plus has a 5.5-inch display. Those will start out with a $199 contract for the 16 gig model of the iPhone 6 and $299 for the iPhone 6 Plus with 16 gigs. As always, well, actually, not since Steve Jobs passed away does Apple did their one more thing, which revealed the Apple Watch, not the iWatch, like most people actually believe to have been the name, or was going to be the name. For the most part, it seems like it's going to be like all the other Android watches. There are a lot of differences, a lot of things that I think that they're going to do better than the current versions of the Android Wear watches. But that will come out early 2015, starting at $349. And just to note, there will be 3 different styles of that watch: the Apple Watch, the Apple Sport, and the Apple Watch Edition, which is made, and I had a typo, but it's made with an 18-karat gold case.
Who wants it?
So that one is estimated probably about going to be run someone about $1,000 for the gold encrusted. So I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on these new phones and watches?
The cult of Apple strikes again. Although if I were to get one, I'd get that iPhone 6 Plus. It does look pretty cool.
I definitely think Apple needed a bigger device. A lot of people were complaining that it's hard to. They're just too small to do real work on them, send emails and stuff like that. It's probably fine for text messages, small emails, but I really like the bigger phone. Right now I'm using a Windows Nokia Icon. I really like it. I really like the core integration and stuff. But this device, I think it could be the iPhone that takes me back.
It'd be the first one I would consider getting, the 5.5-inch Plus.
I just, again, have one word for both of you: phablet.
Yeah, that's a terrible phrase.
I'm just going to leave it there. That's all I'm going to say about this entire thing.
For the record, a phablet is actually a device that is the iPhone 5.5 is not considered a phablet. It's actually something, I think it's 5.6 or 5.7 or higher makes it a phablet.
Yeah.
So
the
it's
fact
out of
that it was
the
mentioned with the
category.
word phablet.
I just think phablet's
Like, I heard that one time, and from then on, I stopped listening to anything about it. I don't care. I don't care. That is the worst. That is the worst word in the English language. Phablet.
No, I agree.
YOLO.
I think we really.
No, I'm putting it above that.
I really do think that we need to get rid of the word phablet. It's just a bigger phone. It's it's not taking the place of a tablet and maybe the iPad Mini. I'm not sure, but someone who actually likes to use the standard tablet, they're using it because it's a bigger screen. They want a phone because it's a bigger screen, but they're not going to do the same amount of work on it.
Yeah.
The only thing would be watching maybe a video when you're waiting in line for something, or when you don't have your tablet on hand. So
Or for just ease of use for Clash of Clans or Boom Beach.
for those fans of Clash of Clans or Boom Beach,
Just
or if you don't play those anymore, I probably will thank you. But those, the iPhone 6 and the iPhone 6 Plus will be available starting September 19th. And if you would like, you can start pre-ordering on September 12th. Just a couple more things about the Apple conference. Apple announced a new service. I think this is one of the most underplayed of the conference, where your Apple device, your iPhone 6 or 6 Plus, or even your iWatch, those are the only devices, no previous devices before can actually use this new service called Apple Pay. It uses NFC plus the Touch ID to basically when you go to a store, and you already see those registers now where you could just tap a credit card or something like that to pay your bill. Well, now you're going to be able to tap your phone and then as second authentication to use the Touch ID that's on the phone to actually pay, which means you never have to give a cashier your credit card anymore. No need to type in addresses, no card number entry, one-touch checkout, and like I said, no card information shared with the merchant at all. It's going to work with all three major payment types, American Express, MasterCard, and Visa. Some Open Table restaurants, if they're a restaurant affiliated with Open Table, will be able to, you can actually pay your bill using that instead of actually having to give your credit card to the waiter. So I think that's pretty cool.
I think it's a cool idea, but I'm concerned with how it'll get. I mean, just look at that big iPad.
Okay, so we probably should clarify. Apple has said that the iCloud was never hacked. This was social engineering. People guessed the password and brute forced their way in. Now, does that mean Apple needs to step up their security? Yes, I definitely feel that they need to set up their two-step authentication to be a lot stronger than it is. But I don't want to put all the blame on Apple. It's also the people who create, email addresses that are first name dot last name for accounts that have your credit card information.
Yep.
That's bad news bears. So I would definitely change that if you are using it, and also make a strong password. Don't just use your cat's first name all lowercase and think that's going to be a sufficient
Are you
password.
speaking from experience?
No, I'm not speaking from experience. My passwords were never like that.
Whatever you say, Fluffy. I'm going to go with just say this is still a horrible idea, not only because of the hacking thing, but, I mean, what's the basic, apparently not common sense understood thing with especially sensitive information? The more people who know it, the more likely it is someone's going to lose it or get stolen regardless. I don't want my credit card information should be with me and the credit card company.
Yeah.
And then I pay, and that's it.
And that's
I don't want another company.
But you give your information to every business that you go to and you swipe your credit card, you give them access to it.
I'm aware of that, and look what happened with Home Depot.
Exactly, and this is what's
would
preventing
stop that.
it. This would mean Apple doesn't have control over your credit card number. They're going to send out, on the back of your card, you have that security code on the back. Those are going to be randomly generated and sent to all of these merchants. So the only thing that the merchant sees is this code, and then that's it. That's all they see. That's all the information they get.
Yeah, no.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
And all the
Seems
data
they
is supposed to be
capture one person,
located
that's just
exactly on your phone. It's supposed to be on there. The only one thing that I'm kind of leery about is currently the first credit card that's attached is the one that's attached to your iTunes card, your iTunes store. If you don't have it, obviously this won't work. But for a second one, you're going to be able to take a picture of your credit card, and then that's going to be a second credit card that you can use.
Man, that's that bad.
I don't know how that's going to work with the breach with all the leaked photos and stuff like that.
Well, here's my question. Let's say I'm holding on to it, I am, I promise. And I'm over at friend's house, and they have their credit card laying out. I want to buy something. I don't have the money for it. Take a picture. Guess what?
There has to be some authentication that says, okay, the account name on this is blah, blah, blah. The account name on this picture is blah, blah, blah. Completely different, access denied. Because it's not the credit, it has to go to Apple, and then Apple sends it to the credit card company. If the credit card says yes, then it goes back, and then it's in your card. That's my understanding of it.
Yeah, I'll withhold judgment until they do some more depth on it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll start seeing things come out probably in the next 2 weeks when it actually becomes officially available. I mean, they got a lot of people on board. They got Chase as one of the top people, all major credit card types, like I said, American Express, MasterCard, Visa. I can't remember all the other companies, but there's a whole bunch of banks that are on board with this. So I think we wait and see what happens. I think everything is kept locally. I don't think anything is actually saved on Apple's site. Okay, so guess we can move on to the next subject. Guardians of the Galaxy hit number 1 again this week in the box office, even though it was the least amount of grossing this weekend. There wasn't a lot it was the worst weekend for movies this weekend, and it brought in $10.1 million, bringing its total to $294.6 million just here in the U.S.
For like a C-team cast of characters. I think it's awesome. Great movie.
it was a good movie. Obviously, I've seen it twice. But I think I'm hard pressed to think of any movie in my time of seriously watching movies that has benefited from such a weak box office.
Oh yeah, with the competition.
I mean, it made $10 million this week, and it got number 1. Any other week, that would have been like number 5, 6, or 7.
Yeah, probably true.
I mean, you just see like how quickly Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fell off, how nobody went to see the Expendables, or I mean any other. If I Stay, that like is that Nicholas Sparks thing? I don't know, some girly movie.
I don't know.
But I mean, no one competed with them at all. And I don't know if that was Marvel's genius or they just got really lucky. Either way, they're getting
Could be
money.
both.
Yeah,
Could be both.
I mean, I really think it's luck. I mean, there really hasn't been another blockbuster movie since then. I mean, there's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which did knock it down for the first week, but since then, I believe it has not stopped from being number 1.
No, and I feel like Turtles was mostly like kids getting their parents to take them, etc. With the push from Nickelodeon and other channels, and that's why you didn't see a big second week return, in my opinion. Not a cinemaphile, if that's even a word.
Well, if it's not, oh well, I suppose. Next, let's talk about a little about GOT. Game of Thrones is one of our favorite television shows and book series.
Fact.
So we kind of want to do an update that recently came out that said that Bran nor Hodor will be in season 5.
I've actually read a couple things since then that Brain might be, but Hodor is the guy that plays Hodor is actually going on his Rave of Thrones tour right now. He's a DJ, so he's been going to different clubs and stuff playing. So they could always do Bran with his mentor to avoid spoilers for like the 5 people in the world that haven't read the books or seen the show so far.
and if that's you, read the damn books.
Fact. I can't say that enough. Read the books. They're awesome. And not very expensive. You can get the first 4 for like $20 on Amazon.
At this point, you can borrow them from your friends. I think everyone has them.
Yeah, that's a fact. Absolutely. But yeah, it'll be curious to see how they do the storylines because Brain's story is pretty much caught up to his place in the books, minus a couple minutes of scenes they can do. So it'll be very curious to see what they end up doing with this storyline, especially as they streamline it and kind of cut characters out. Well, it'll be very interesting.
But in the past, they've always extended scenes. So I understand that, yes, they completed everything before, but did they have to? Could they not have stretched things out a little bit, shown us a little bit of which they actually didn't show us in the books, and still be able to continue those characters? I know we still have a whole bunch of story left that we need to cover. Mm-hmm. We still don't even have the 6th book out yet. So, I know we're, kind of delaying things so that George can keep on writing those books faster and faster. But I feel like they could have held off, a lot of Bran's story and kind of continued that into this season instead of having a hiatus for them for
a year or so.
A year.
And casual viewers might even forget who these cats are. So how much time are they going to spend reintroducing you for the casual viewer?
Especially the person who's just watching the show and thinks, "Oh, he's not in this. He must not be that important."
Right.
Which, from all of us reading these books, and this isn't really spoiler, but he's a pretty decent character in these books. Mm-hmm. So that's that. Some other new news coming related to TV shows that AMC's The Walking Dead has released a new trailer for Season 5. The Walking Dead will premiere on October 12th, 9 p.m. Eastern. I don't know if you guys got to take a look at that trailer.
I heard somebody's in trouble.
Yeah, lots of people are going to be in trouble.
Pretty sure they're in the apocalypse. I think they're all in trouble at this point.
Specifically.
I think this is going to be a season that we're all going to be very interested in. I feel like my feeling towards the other seasons were season 3. I think I really only liked one half of it, and season 4 was just slow paced. So I think they're finally going to come back and get us more entertained like they used to in the first 2 seasons.
I hope so, because I actually stopped watching Never last season. It was just boring. If I want to watch people walk around, I'll watch a Ball State gym class. If you went to Ball State, you know what that joke was about.
Sure. Other news, Chris Pratt joins SNL for the premiere of SNL. I think that's pretty cool. I mean,
I'm stoked. I love him, and I really hope Burt Macklin, FBI agent, makes an appearance. Or at least Karate, whatever. That guy's awesome, too. Great characters. Dude's hilarious. Big fan.
Have they ever had... Wow, I'm drawing a blank. Ron Swanson. What's his name?
Oh, Nick Offerman?
Has he ever hosted?
I don't know. I haven't watched as much as I used to.
No,
I would love to have him on there. He's hilarious, too.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Or even have him tag team it. That would be a great comedy
wonderful.
combo. Big fans, both of them. They could woodwork and karate kick stuff.
And eat meat tornadoes.
Yeah. Hey, you had me at Meat Tornado.
lastly, in our TV show news, The Legend of Korra, book 4 is actually going to be starting up October 3rd. This book is called Balance. This is going to be pretty interesting, seeing as book 3 just ended
A week ago.
Yeah, not too long ago. And, now we're already starting the 4th and presumably the final season, correct?
Yeah, a lot of the stuff I've read, and I'm really excited they're starting it. It really seems like Nickelodeon's trying to get rid of the show and kind of flush it. But a lot of the things I've read said that the 2 showrunners, once they're done with this 4th season, which they've actually been working on for a long time, so it's not like it's rushed. I know online a lot of folks were saying that Nick was rushing it just to get rid of it. But I think they just had it in the can, and they might as well just ride the momentum. But anyways, the 2 showrunners, once this season is done, they're going to take a break from the Avatar series for a while on television, although they will continue it on a comic book form, I believe. And they did that with the original Avatar series with Zuko's search for his mom. And then I think they had the one right before that was Aang's continued adventures as he grew up a bit. So that'll be cool. I'd prefer a show myself. I love comics and graphic novels, but I prefer the show. I really thought it was awesome. I love Studio Mirror and what they were doing. So it's slightly disappointing, but I'm just really excited. We still had the 4th season, and they're still showing it, not just like selling it later on or something and doing like a direct-to-DVD. I'm still feeling the pain from Stargate when they canceled all that and then did a lot of those direct-to-DVD things. So hopefully this is a great season. I'm really excited to see what happens with the little girl Janora.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, excited to see her. Excited to see how Korra gets past the cliffhanger of sorts at the end of the 3rd season. Don't want to spoil that. So I'm really excited.
Yeah, I'm super excited as well. I am sad that this is going to be the end, but at the same time, I'm glad they're ending it, and it's just not being ended for them.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been terrible just to say, oh, this is the season finale. Like a lot of television shows have happened. They've had 1 season, 2 seasons, and then they cut them off either at the end of that season or halfway through the season because they're not getting the ratings. And I know that Legend of Korra might not be a kid favorite, but I think it hits a lot of people who watch the original television Avatar: Last Airbender. I think it really hits home to them, and I think that's the reason why it got taken from Nickelodeon, who most adults probably don't watch Nickelodeon, and they put it online so that it's kind of like that guilty pleasure.
I love the show. I love it. Good stuff. It's got the adult overtones. It's got it's got stuff for the kids too. But it's a great animated series. If you haven't checked it out, I highly advise it, and definitely check out the original series too. It's excellent, truly.
Going into a few movie news. Chris Evans denies that Captain America 3 will be his last Captain America movie.
Which I think is hilarious, and I think he's done a great job as Captain America, I'm a big Marvel head, and Cap's not really one of my favorites by a long shot. I'm also pro Sith, so do the math, form your own conclusion on that one. I think it's interesting. For a long time, he was pretty much saying, once this is over, I'm retiring from acting, and I'm kind of done with it. And then all of a sudden, whoa, hold on a second, this isn't my last Cap appearance, or maybe he's just alluding to an Avengers 3 appearance, or maybe even some sort of other cameos.
I think Marvel added another 0 to his check.
And that could, they did it with RDJ, and they can do it.
But RDJ has come out saying recently too, though, that there is no Iron Man 4 movie plan.
No plans. Yeah, no plans.
There's no plans. It doesn't say he's not going to do it. He just says right now there is no plans for that.
And actually, as I know we talked about this earlier, but as I was thinking about this, could be a clever way of him deflecting, because current Marvel readers know Tony has gone out with the Guardians and done some space adventures and done some other stuff, and taken a back role as well as kind of like a tech guy. So it'll be curious. He didn't say no more Iron Man. He said, excuse me, no Iron Man 4 plans yet. So they could still definitely use him. And he just had that interview, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Where he's talking about how he'd still play him and he enjoys it, and he couldn't really see other people doing it. So it'll be very interesting to see how they end up playing that. I think he's done a great job. Evans has done good. Although, what's his name from Once? The Bucky Barnes guy has 4 or 5 more movies on his
Sebastian
contract.
Stan.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And not to bring spoilers, we could keep on spoiling. If you've seen Winter Soldier, you kind of get a gist of some spoilers issues that could come later on. And maybe we'll talk about in that a future podcast. And we'll put spoilers ahead of time so that you know that, all right, let's stop, take a break, and then come back in a few minutes to see where we're at.
Yeah.
Last news from movie news, the Batmobile has been revealed recently.
Really?
Yeah, I guess that wasn't apparent to you guys.
I've
But
checked that out.
I've seen 2 pictures of which one are you referring to.
I'm talking about the front end view now, where you've seen the guns.
How's it look?
It looks pretty cool. It looks similar to the Tumbler.
I'm partial to Tumbler just because it looks much more practical.
Mm-hmm.
I would say yes, this is a cross between I wouldn't even say the classic, but okay, if you combined the classic Batmobile, and by classic I mean the Michael Keaton, the original, the Tumbler, and even throw in just a slight dose of Bryan Singer's from the Val Kilmer. Was that Bryan Singer who directed that, or was that Joel Schumacher? It was Schumacher. My bad.
Yeah.
The Joel Schumacher, kind of lots of angular lines, stuff like that.
I just looked it up. This thing is mean.
Yeah.
It looks real mean.
I have 2 things. The first thing is the gun thing. I understand that in the past there has been Batmobiles that have featured guns on them. Some have featured rockets on them, which is fine. But they just have to be careful, because Batman doesn't kill. Batman doesn't use guns. He doesn't believe in guns.
Fundamentally doesn't use guns.
Right. So I just hope that doesn't. If he shoots buildings, sure. If he shoots other cars, that's fine. But let's just make sure that we know that Batman's on the essence of he doesn't like guns. He doesn't like to use guns, and putting them on his weapons kind of seems anticlimactic.
And this, boys and girls, is why Marvel's better.
Anyways, the other thing is I really hope going to this movie that it's as practical as the Nolan trilogy, because I really felt they made the Tumbler to be it was an army weapon that they converted into a Batmobile. I think that was really cool, and the same thing with the Bat, which was the Batcopter or the Bat plane, whatever you want to call it.
I thought that was pretty rad.
I thought that was really cool. So, as long as they keep things realistic with Batman, as they did in the Nolan, I think it's gonna be great. I don't want it to be the Nolan films. I want it to be them, but keep it as the realistic form. I think that's what we like about all these DC shows. Arrow and the upcoming Flash and the Gotham TV show, is that they're gonna keep things real.
See, this is my curiosity with the DC stuff. Marvel has, and especially with Guardians, thrown the quote-unquote realism out the window. I mean, yes, they kind of explained how Captain was made and how Iron Man got a suit and all that. That's great. But having said that, they're not afraid to go to the fantastical elements of it.
Groot, Scarlet Witch.
Yeah. Here's my question, though, when it comes to DC. And, they pay people to think about these things, so I'm sure they figured it out. They've definitely pigeonholed themselves into their realism with the Nolan films. And even into the Superman stuff. Obviously he's an alien. Okay, yeah, we get it. It's not entirely realistic. but I'm just curious how they're gonna do some of the other ones, some of the more fantastical ones. For instance, Shazam, Black Adam,
The Rock, really excited for that.
yeah, Wonder Woman, Aquaman. I mean, I'm just curious how they're gonna kind of explain those when they're trying to get as realistic as possible.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating. I think you're right, though. It'll be very interesting to see what happens with them. I'm still pro Marvel. I'll go see the movies. I like Affleck as a director. I thought The Town was great. We'll see what happens. It'll be very interesting.
Breaking news. Apparently some guy on Mashable, or well, not on Mashable, but Mashable reports that some guy is doing naked handstands all around the world. Wow.
That's actually what made us stop in our tracks a second ago because it was a ridiculous photo. So it'll be cool to see what this new Batman goes. I like the new Superman movie. I thought it was cool. I like the Nolan Batman movies. Prefer the Marvel movies so far, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
All right. So that kind of concludes like our hot topic section. Now I'm just going to run through some of the tech news of the week. I call this the Weekly Digital Fix. It's sponsored by A Digital Fix. It's a company in Indianapolis, Greenfield, East Central Indiana, where we provide services for you. If you need any computer repairs or need any computer consultation, you can email adigitalfix@gmail.com. Small proceeds from A Digital Fix come into the podcast, helping us create it, helping us buy the equipment to be able to put on these podcasts.
You're pretty close with the owner, aren't you?
Oh yeah, I'm really close.
You get a connection.
Yeah.
Inside scoop.
All right, so like we already said before, Apple has released the iPhone 6 and iPhone 6 Plus and the Apple Watch. If you don't remember, the iPhone 6 and iPhone 6 Plus will be available on pre-order starting September 12th and be available starting September 19th. The Apple Watch is going to be available sometime early 2015. Google is now selling Google Glass Explorer Edition, now on the Google Play Store. It'll set you back about $1,500, but it does come with a free pair of frames or shades. I kind of think that would just be included in $1,500, but if they want to say they give you something for free for that, be my guest.
Tap dance at that point.
Well, the lenses are what you pay for.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Wait a minute, they don't even have lenses. If you haven't purchased an Xbox One, I would recommend definitely doing it this week. From September 7th through the 13th, you'll be able to get a free game with the purchase of an Xbox One. And if you want to get Destiny, I would highly recommend it.
Agreed. Amazing.
Amazon Fire Phone falls to 99 cents on a 2-year contract. Amazon, a couple weeks ago, announced their Amazon Phone to try to compete with the phones from Google and Apple and Microsoft. It looks like it's not doing so hot if it's already, after just a few weeks being announced, falling to 99 cents.
That's what happens when you have 9-year-olds in your commercial.
Yeah. The commercial is clever-esque, but not something that... it's not a phone that I want. Sorry, I lost my place. Xbox One October update. This is going to cover a heck of a lot of... new features. Sorry, I lost my place. It's going to have improved snap features, which gives you quick access to friends' messages, game DVR, clock, and battery indicators. An updated achievement app, friends section, new smart glass features such as seeing what top games you play as well as your friends' most popular games. It will now have DLNA and MKV media player support, live TV trending, live TV mini guide, and a whole bunch more. For that, you can go see Microsoft's Xbox news place called The Wire. Just Google it. It'll be one of the first articles on deck. And, Apple's iOS 8 update comes out next week on September 17th. So that's it for the Weekly Digital Fix.
Well done.
Thank you. It's going to get better, guys. This is our first podcast. Yep. First episode should be hoping to get it posted within that day of us actually producing it.
Should have an episode coming up with the new shows. Gotham, Flash, new Arrow seasons, etc.
Which, by the way, all the hype. I'm not sure if you guys saw the episode.
People love it.
I think it was on IO9 today. They said that it was the most well done show of the fall, and all these critics are just raving about it. So
I did see that. I wasn't pumped at first, and I'm getting more and more excited for it as it's getting closer.
I mean, I've not heard a bad thing about it.
Mm-hmm. Although I'm going to say this, I watched the Flash pilot got leaked about a month and a half ago. I was talking about. I watched that. It was really good. It was a lot better than the Arrow pilot, and most of y'all that know us know Zach and I, and Stu to an extent, are big Arrow fans. The show. Zach's an actual Green Arrow fan, but he can't help it. And
It's just so good.
I mean, if you don't like Stephen Amell, I don't know if I can even be friends with you. Great guy. Does a lot of charitable work, too. Check out his Facebook page. Good dude. But yeah, a lot of great shows coming out. Very excited for Gotham, for Flash, for the new season of Arrow as well. Final season Sons of Anarchy's on right now. I still need to get caught up. It's good. So it's going to be a great episode talking about new TV shows coming out. So look forward to that.
Yep. Every week we're going to kind of run down the top TV shows of that week, kind of see what we've been watching live, DVR, what we stream on Netflix, Hulu Plus, maybe some pirated shows. Not going to actually say that we pirated them, but we're going to say we watched them. Go over movies that have come out. As you know, we've been talking about Guardians and stuff like that. When new blockbusters come out, we're usually the ones who go see the opening week.
Yep.
So be forward to looking about our reviews about that. So again, we're going to do hot topics. We're going to do, the weekly digital fix of all the tech news from that week, and we're going to go through what we like to watch.
Absolutely.
Other than that, I think that's about wraps us up for today. Do you guys want to say where they can find you, either social, like on Twitter or something like that?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter. I believe it's Twitter/The Bauman. And then on Facebook, it's Facebook/The Andy Bauman. Just look for the Italian-looking guy with a beard. That's me. Now,
you also help with a really important charity, right?
Yeah, I actually wrapping up. We got about 22 days left. We have a yearly campaign called Guys and Dolls that helps benefit the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. We raise about anywhere from $180,000 to $250,000 a year. So we got 22 days left. It's a great cause. If you ever are interested, just check out the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation's website, or feel free to contact me via the previously stated social media links.
For me, Zach, you can find me at Zach Mayer on Twitter. You can also check me out on adigitalfix.com. That's where we're going to be posting these podcasts until we can kind of get more funding and create our own website. So, yeah, you can find me there. You can email me at adigitalfix.com if you have any questions, concerns, suggestions for the podcast. We are always looking for suggestions.
Absolutely.
Also, if you know us, we're also going to be, kind of asking for donations to help help us fund this. None of the profits actually, at least for now, until we, become, rich and successful, none of it will actually provide us any kind of income. All of it going straight into the podcast, getting equipment, mics, cameras, soundboards, mixers, stuff like that. So we're not actually going to take any of the profits. We're just going to put it back to you guys
to make the show better.
Yeah, we're all in about making the show a little bit better. So yeah, Stu, you want to give out where people can reach out to you?
Sure. I'm on Twitter, Stu_Purcell. Facebook, Stuart Purcell, obviously.
You can also find him at the Decline Bench Press.
You can find me at any LA Fitness around the Indy area. I have no cool cause that I support other than fitness. So catch me at the gym. I'll be the guy making weird faces while I lift.
All right. Well, I think that wraps things up this week for the Beard, the Brain, and the Brawn.
Woo!
All right. See you guys next time.